let's be honest for a second. How does the average morning actually start? I don't mean the Instagram version with the avocado toast and the sunrise yoga. I mean the reality. The alarm screams, your eyes snap open, and before your feet even touch the cold floor, you're already under siege.
It's the mental to-do list. It unspools like a receipt for a debt you can't pay. You're lying there, heart rate spiking, thinking, I'm late. I forgot to email her back. I look tired. The coffee is out.
Exactly. And what's the first thing we do? We reach for the modern pacifier, the smartphone.
Right. We invite the chaos of the world into our bed before we've even taken a conscious breath. We scroll through the envy of social media, the panic of the headlines, the demands of the inbox. We start the day in reaction mode. And that is the critical distinction. When you live in reaction, you are merely surviving. You aren't designing your life.
That feels like the default setting for most of us. We wake up on defense. But today we're discussing a concept that flips that script. It's based on a routine used by Tony Robbins, a man who has coached presidents and billionaires, and he calls it priming. Now, is this just a fancy word for meditation? Because if I have to sit in silence for 20 minutes trying to clear my mind, I'm going to fail.
That's a common misconception. Meditation is usually about finding stillness, about emptying the mind or observing thoughts. Priming is different. Priming is active. It's visceral. Think of it this way. If your mind and body are an instrument, priming is the act of tuning that instrument before you walk out onto the stage to play the symphony. You wouldn't expect a violin to sound good if it's been sitting in a cold case all night, right? You have to tune it.
So it's a warm-up. But it sounds like it goes deeper than just stretching.
Much deeper. The core philosophy here is that emotion is created by motion. This is the science of the shift. Most people think they can think their way out of a bad mood. They wake up feeling groggy or anxious, and they try to rationalize it away. But you can't think your way out of a biochemical state. You have to move your way out of it. You have to breathe your way out of it.
That makes sense. If I'm slumped over in a chair, shallow breathing, looking down, my brain assumes I'm depressed. If I change the posture, the brain has to catch up. So, walk us through this gift. It's a 10-minute routine. How do we unwrap it?
It happens in 4 distinct phases, and phase 1 is the physiology. It's called breathe fire.
Breathe fire. That doesn't sound very zen.
It's not meant to be gentle. It's a physical interrupt. You sit straight, eyes closed, and you raise your arms and pull them down sharply while exhaling forcefully through your nose. Snap, snap, snap. You do 3 sets of 30 breaths. It's similar to the yogic Kapalabhati technique.
Okay, so you're basically hyperoxygenating your system?
Precisely. You are flooding your bloodstream with oxygen. You're waking up the brainstem. You are telling your nervous system, we are here, we are awake. It breaks the pattern of the groggy morning zombie. It's a declaration of readiness. You cannot remain in a sluggish state when you are breathing like that. It changes your biochemistry instantly. Fear and cortisol have a very hard time coexisting with that level of oxygenation and movement.
So you've shocked the system awake. You've got the engine running. What happens next? Because having a lot of energy is great. But if you're energized and angry, that's just a faster disaster.
Exactly. That brings us to phase 2, the heart. This is the pivot point. Once the breathing stops, you settle into the stillness. You put your hands physically on your heart. And for the next few minutes, you practice gratitude.
I feel like gratitude has become such a buzzword lately. Just be grateful. But how do you do it so it actually works?
That is the key question. Most people do it wrong. They pick big, abstract concepts. They say, I'm grateful for my health, or I'm grateful for freedom. Those are great, but they are intellectual. They don't make you feel anything. To make this work, you have to go small. You have to go sensory.
Give me an example.
Don't just think about family. Think about the specific smile your daughter gave you yesterday when she showed you a drawing. Think about the way the wind felt on your face when you walked to the car. Think about the warmth of the sheets before you got up. You have to relive the moment. You have to feel it.
Why does the specific detail matter so much more than the big concept?
Because of the reticular activating system, or RAS. It's the part of your brain that filters information. If you force your brain to scan for these small, beautiful moments, you are training the RAS to scan the world for the good. You are putting on the glasses through which you will view the rest of the day. And here is the biological truth. You cannot be angry and grateful simultaneously. You cannot be fearful and grateful simultaneously. They are opposing emotional states. By flooding your system with gratitude, you are essentially immunizing yourself against the stress that's coming later.
I like that. You're training your brain's search engine to look for the positive results, not the error messages.
Perfect analogy. So, you've energized the body, you've opened the heart. Now, phase 3, connection. This is where it gets a bit more spiritual or energetic, depending on your belief system. You visualize a light, call it God, the universe, nature, whatever resonates. You imagine this light coming down, healing your body, strengthening your nervous system, and then flowing out of you.
So it's about flow?
It's about not being a dam. You let this energy flow into you, and then you send it out. You send it to your family, your friends, your colleagues, even your enemies.
Even enemies? That's a tall order for a Tuesday morning.
It is, but it's strategic. It reminds you that you are not an isolated island fighting a war against the world. It reconnects you to the whole. When you feel connected, you don't feel threatened. And when you don't feel threatened, you make better decisions. You operate from a place of abundance rather than scarcity.
Okay, so we are energized, grateful, and connected. We're tuned up. Now, how do we point this instrument at the day?
Phase 4. The 3 to thrive. This is the future pacing part of the routine. You visualize 3 specific goals you want to achieve. But, and this is the secret sauce, you do not visualize the struggle to get there.
Wait, so I shouldn't visualize myself typing the email or sitting in the traffic to get to the meeting?
No. Never visualize the grind. You visualize the outcome. You see it as if it has already happened. You feel the handshake after the deal is closed. You see the signed contract. You hear the laughter at the dinner party. You step into that future reality and you feel the emotions of victory now.
It sounds like you're tricking your brain.
You are bridging the gap. The brain has a hard time distinguishing between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. By feeling the victory now, you tell your brain, this success is familiar, it is safe, it is inevitable. When you actually get to that moment in your day, you aren't nervous because you've already been there in your mind. You've already won.
It's interesting because so many of us focus on the how. How am I going to get this done? But this method focuses entirely on the what and the feeling of the result.
Exactly. It removes the anxiety of the process. So think about the cumulative effect here. You've spent 10 minutes, that's it. But in those 10 minutes, you changed your oxygen levels. You reset your emotional baseline to gratitude. You connected with something larger than yourself, and you pre-lived your successes.
And then you open your eyes.
And then you open your eyes, and the room looks different. The problems are still there, the emails haven't magically deleted themselves, the traffic is still backed up, but the person looking at them has changed. You are no longer a leaf blowing in the wind of circumstance. You are the wind.
That's a powerful shift. It's about agency.
It is the ultimate act of agency. It's a daily discipline that says, I will determine how I feel today. Because if you don't determine how you feel, the world will do it for you. And the world does not have your best interests at heart. The world wants your attention, your outrage, and your wallet.
It really highlights how passive our mornings have become. We act like waking up is something that happens to us, rather than something we do.
Right, we wake up, but we don't arise. This routine is about arising. It's about accepting the gift of state. Because ultimately, the quality of your life is the quality of your emotions. You can be rich, successful, and famous. But if your emotional home is anxiety and frustration, your life is terrible. Conversely, you can be in the middle of a challenge. But if your emotional home is gratitude and determination, you're doing just fine.
And the cost of entry is just 10 minutes.
10 minutes to get your life back. It's the best investment you can make.
So the challenge for everyone listening is simple. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, don't touch the phone, don't check the email. Sit up, breathe fire, find the gratitude, see the future.
Tune the instrument, then play the symphony.
Beautifully put. Thanks for walking us through the gift.
My pleasure. Now go take the 10 minutes.